Hey everyone, this is Prince Watercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. Or rather, a Let's Play we've done before, and now we're doing a second edition of it in a sense. This is Wheel of Fortune Family Edition. Came out for the NES in 1990, and is a sequel of sorts to the 1987 Wheel of Fortune game for the Nintendo, which of course, just like this game, was also brought to us by Rare. As you can probably tell, the presentation is a tad improved, and it shows. It definitely feels like the same game as the 1987 NES original, but you have a whole new slew of puzzles to solve, and you also have a whole bunch of new music. Anyway, we start off the game just like we did before. We can select between 1 and 3 players, and we can also choose if you want to play against a computer. And of course we have those 3 skill levels as well, 1 being the easiest. And then everybody gets to insert their name, which of course, just like last time, you have a 9 character limit. In case you need to erase a mistake that you made in inserting your name, you can just go to the arrow all the way to the right side of the screen. Just highlight that with the little square there, and then press the A button and you'll go back 1 character. And now it's on to round 1. And as you can tell, if you already watched the Let's Play for the original 1987 game, it's pretty much the same as that game. The only real difference, besides of course all the new puzzles and everything, is that the colors are a little different, as well as the music. Other than that, everything's basically the same. You have the category at the top, you have the puzzle below that, and then you have everything that you need to look at for doing what it is you need to do, such as your commands, what round you're on, who you're playing against, how much money you have, the current value that the wheel has landed on, all that stuff right there at the bottom. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, albeit a little better from the original 1987 game, but in case you haven't watched it and you like this version better for whatever reason, well, I'm gonna mention it again anyway. Even the wheel is the same, for Pete's sake. And of course, just like I explained all that, I'm going to explain what it is you need to do in this game in order to, well, do anything. Basically, you spin the wheel and you guess a continent. Not a continent, a consonant. I can't speak to save my life, but that's always a normal thing on this channel anyway. If you guess correctly, you get money for every instance that consonant appears in the puzzle. So let's say you landed on, say, 400 like I just did, and you guessed N. N appears 3 times. We get 1,200 points total because, well, we landed on 400 and we got 3 N's. So 400 times 3 equals 1,200. You can also buy vowels, and it always costs 250 whenever you guess a vowel, regardless of whether it appears in the puzzle or not. So you want to use that wisely. And of course, if you're confident enough that you can actually solve the puzzle, you can do just that. And I'll explain how that works when we get there. And I just landed on bankrupt. Something that I never liked when I watched a game show as a kid. Stung as a kid, still stings now. And now the computer opponents get a turn. I learned from my mistakes from playing the original version of this. In this and the 3 long play videos that I do, because, well, I did 3 for the last one, I'm going to do for the 3 long plays where I don't do any commentary for this one. Instead of going right for the throat and solving the puzzles as quickly as I can, I actually try to run up a total before I actually decide, you know what, I might as well solve it. I'm not going to get any more money, and I'm probably going to land on bankrupt or missed turn if I keep this up. And I really try on this one. It worked slightly better than my tactics from the last game, which I basically lifted straight out of the tactics that I used in Deluxe Edition, which I still use on that version of the game, which is on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis to this day, because apparently that good at the game, and the AI is a bit on the easier side on that one. And I actually get more money here. I actually get more money in this game, in this Let's Play overall, than I did in the 1987 original. Which, of course, I keep referring to, because both games are similar. There's not really much of an explanation that I can give to you other than that for why I keep referring to the original version of this. Also, I managed to get a free spin here. That's really nice. I should mention the other 3 special spaces on the wheel, the ones with the flashing symbols on them. B is bankrupt. If you land on that, you lose all the money that you have accrued so far. If you land on the M, that's miss turn, which is basically the same as lose a turn. Don't know why Rare called it that, but they called it that in the original version, and they still kept that name in this one. At least you don't lose your money if you land on that. And of course, the plus symbol is the free spin. In case I get a letter wrong, be it vowel or consonant, and I have a free space token, I can use it, and I can get another turn. And we're solving the puzzle here. You want to be very careful and pay attention to the bottom of the screen when you do this, because that's where the whole action of you solving the puzzle appears on the game screen. It's not like the Deluxe Edition as well as other games, I'm assuming, where it's on the same area as where the puzzle is. So don't look at the top of the screen while you're solving the puzzle. Look at the bottom. You'll confuse yourself a lot less. And since we're starting a new round here, I might as well go ahead and give a really good piece of advice. I might as well go ahead and mention the strength bar because I haven't mentioned it yet. The further to the right the little pink bar is when you press the A or B button, the stronger your spin will be. You do not want to start the game with a maximum power spin because more than likely you're going to land on bankrupt. I have lucked out a little bit and I've landed just to the left of bankrupt. But if you start a new game, player 1 is going to start it. Player 1 is obviously going to be you. And if you do a fully power spin, you're going to basically lose your turn before you start if you do that, more than likely. I should also mention that when you get a puzzle, you're stuck with it. It's not like the Deluxe Edition where you can press select prior to the beginning of a round and you can switch one puzzle out for another one, and when you're satisfied with it, you can press start and the round can begin. So, you may get a shorter one that you may or may not like, you may get a longer one that you may or may not like. Tough. You're going to have to deal with it. And, unlike the Deluxe Edition, I have a tough time with the shorter puzzles in this game. I mean, I had trouble with them in the original, and, well, this continues here, obviously. And by the time that I figure out what the puzzle is, if the computer player's getting their turn, more than likely they're gonna figure it out and solve it anyway, just as soon as I figured it out. And so I consider the NES games to be pretty tough, because of the AI and the puzzles themselves. I mean, I can breeze through the puzzles normal speed up and final rounds in the Deluxe Edition for Super Nintendo and Genesis, but here I have a much tougher time. And that's still true when I try to accrue more money prior to solving a puzzle like I do in this Let's Play. And the puzzle for this is Iceberg. But by this point, the computer opponent has figured this out and they solved the puzzle on me. Amazing. If there are only vowels left in the puzzle, the game will tell you. You probably kind of figured that out just from watching this. And we've already gone through 2 rounds already, and now it's time for round 3, the speed up round. Just like in the original, the speed up round is round 3. And you get to see how much each letter is worth. Vowels worth nothing, consonants are worth, in this case, 300, because that's what the wheel landed on. I might as well go ahead and mention the rounds, too. There are 2 normal rounds, a speed-up round, and then a final round. Player 1 starts round 1, player 2 starts round 2, and player 3 starts round 3, which is, of course, the speed-up round. Speed-up round works a little different. Vanna spins the wheel, whatever the wheel lands on, that's how much all the consonants are worth. Vowels are worth nothing. And when you guess a letter and you guess one right, you can choose if you want to solve. If you don't want to solve it because you're not confident enough in your skills to do so, because, well, there's not enough letters revealed yet, you can just let the timer lapse, and then you can just let the next player continue where you left off, basically. You just basically pass it to the next person. That's basically all that it is that I can say about the game. Thankfully, I did it in a little more organized fashion. Tried not to jump around here and there. And here's me solving this puzzle. Because, you know, I'd rather not let the computer-controlled opponents get this one out from under me. And I have more money than my 2 opponents, so why not? I'm amazed I was able to figure this one out early. Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Thankfully, I got about 3,000. That's definitely more than I had in the Let's Play for the regular version, the original version, if you will. And round 4 is the final puzzle, the grand prize puzzle. You have new prizes here, such as the Emerald Necklace, the Caribbean Cruise, the Beach House, April in Paris, a Concorde to London, and a Bentley, which replaces a sports car that I liked. If you want to select between those prizes, just keep pressing yes, and then select no on the one that you want. I'm obviously going to pick the Bentley. And final round in this game, just like in the original, you pick 5 consonants and 1 vowel. I'm sticking with the tried and true RSTLNE. Because you don't get those automatically, and you don't get the 3 consonants and the vowel on top of that, these puzzles are obviously going to be a little harder. And I almost gave up on this one, but then I realized, wait a minute, there's only one thing this could possibly be. Euripides. And believe it or not, this is the only one out of the set of 4 videos that I managed to pull off correctly. The long play videos, all 3 of them, I do not have such luck. And I won my Bentley. Believe it or not, the music on the prize screen, the music that you get when you pass or fail that, that's the only thing that has been carried over from the 1987 original. The rest of the music is all new. And that's it for Wheel of Fortune Family Edition. Like I said in the last LP, I definitely want to thank @LincolnHawk29 for bringing this game to my attention. He mentioned playing this with his family back in the day. Thanks for telling me about those retro gaming memories there, Lincoln Hawk. And I'm basically going to say the same thing that I said about the original version of the game. Definitely a challenge, definitely worth picking up and playing a couple of times. And it's developed by Rare, so you know it's going to be a halfway decent game. I mean, Rare actually did their best with whatever they developed, especially back then in the 8-bit era. I mean, they did other kinds of games like WWF WrestleMania. I mean, even though that game hasn't aged well, depending on who you talk to, Rare did try with that game. And of course, being that Wheel of Fortune Family Edition is just like the 1987 original, right down to the quality of the music, the sound, the gameplay, I can kind of give it the same amount of recommendation that I can give the original. I mean, music and sound are great. Gameplay does what it should. And it's worth playing. Now, the music is a little better than the original version. I will give it that. That should be mentioned again. And the presentation is a little bit better. The colors may have changed, but the presentation does feel a little bit improved. Kind of. It's most evident in the copyright screen and the title screen. Gameplay is still kind of the same. But it's nice to know that there are a whole bunch of new puzzles that you can do. So if you got tired of the original and you know that one pretty well, don't be afraid to pop in Family Edition. You'll get a whole new set of challenges out of that one. And that will wrap it up for Let's Play Wheel of Fortune Family Edition. I'm going to have a couple of long play videos, sans commentary, coming up after this. And hopefully, I will have another game to play for the channel. Until then, this is Prince Watercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and see you guys later!